What's going on, y'all? What's going on, everybody, man? It's DC, your favorite host, Chalk Talk podcast host, man. Today we about to get into another story time, man. And today we gonna talk about the time I gave Austin Bolt his nickname, Grim Reaper. So when I first met Austin, right, they was telling us like, oh yeah, man, we got a new receiver coming in. He about 6'4", he a 6'4" dude from Idaho, white dude. Um, I guess Austin was recruited to play receiver, but Austin Bolt was also recruited to play basketball for Boise State too. I think his high school Bora, they went to state. He took his team to state in hoop, and Austin was a track dude too. So I think they said Austin was probably like one of the fastest dudes in Idaho, and he was like a track dude. So you know, me being a Cali boy, uh, when they was telling us all this, I'm just sitting there like, in my head, I'm like, man, anybody could be fast in Idaho. It's Idaho. Not no knock to Idaho. Shout out my Idahoans and my people from Idaho, man. Nothing but love and respect. But like I said, man, I'm from Cali, so at the time, I'm me being who I am. I'm thinking like, man, it's Idaho. Anybody could be fast out here. So I remember when I first met him. If you know Austin Boat, bro. Austin like 6'4", big tall, lanky dude, man. Like he ain't had no real body frame. He was just real tall, musk. Like he didn't really have no muscles like that. He was just tall and skinny. And I remember when I first met him, I shook his hand. We talked a little bit, and at the time, this was 20. I want to say 2020. So this was like my second year playing defense. So I would do. It was our COVID year, so we didn't really have scout practice. We all were just practicing together. So um, we only did scout when we had games and stuff. So like fall camp and all that, we did everything together. So I never really got a chance to see Austin play and what he could do. So um, I remember we did scout team, and I think he was a scout receiver. So I'm guarding him or whatever, and he wasn't really getting the ball like that. So he was kind of like, I'm not gonna. Well, he was loafing. We both was loafing. He not getting the ball, so he just trying to block me or whatever and run me off. So it was this one play in particular. I remember we was on the blue, and he went deep. And I like remember I told you Austin was a track dude. But I didn't like I knew that, but I didn't know how fast he was. Like I didn't know I underestimated his speed. So I remember, man, Austin got past me so fast, y'all. I don't even remember him getting behind me. That's how fast he ran past me. Like I don't even remember him getting behind me. So, the play was going on for a minute. So I forgot who was the quarterback, man. Somebody just chucked the ball up. And it's me and him. I'm in front of him, he behind me. Mind y'all, I'm six. I'm at the time, well, I'm still the same size. I'm 6'1", probably 180. At the time, Austin was like 6'4", 6'3". So I'm behind him. I mean, I'm in front of him, he behind me. So usually when I jump up and I make these kind of plays, it usually work out in my favor. Like I don't think I ever been mossed in college until this point. Mind you, and then I wasn't really playing like that. So this kind of like my first year being under the spotlight and stuff like that. So, Y'all, when I tell y'all the ball is in the air, I'm looking at the ball and I just remember like leaping, like jumping with both arms.
Oh, shit!
Y'all, I thought I had the ball.
You need to jump.
Austin Bolt mossed me and then did this, like took the ball from over top of me and had the ball in the air like this, and then looked at me like, like I was on the ground, like, oh, I looked, I thought he dropped it or something. Yeah, while I look up and this fool was standing over top of me like this. So, everybody was going crazy. Oh, DC, you got mossed. DC, you got mossed. So I look up and I was mad because it was two reasons I was mad. For one, I just got head tapped. And then for two, it's like, damn, all these dudes over here, ain't nobody think to throw a punch or nothing for me. It's like, man, bro. And then, it was like that was the first time. Austin was hell, bro. Like, I think Austin was, out of all the receivers I guarded in college, I think Austin was probably the hardest one. You had Tay. Tay was hard to guard too. Um, Tay was strong though. Like, I kind of knew how to play Tay a little bit, like, but I think Bo was he was more. I think he was more of a threat than Tay was because Austin was just real, real fast, and you couldn't with Austin. You had to kind of play perfect defense, and if you didn't, your ass was grass, man. So yeah, Austin was a dog, and me and Austin used to go at it after I tore my MCL. I remember it was one practice we went at it. We was doing one-on-ones and we was doing goal line one-on-ones. And I remember Austin cooked me up, man. I think Austin ran the first play he ran like a fade, and I held him. Then he came back and ran a slant on me, and he cooked me. I was like, sheesh, I was like, man, but Austin was probably one of the cold. I think personally, Austin is probably, well, at the time he cold right now. He was cold too back then, but he just didn't play like that. But at the time, man, Austin was a cold receiver, and yeah, man, shit, he mossed me, and he was cooking me, man. Austin was having his way with me for a little bit until I fought back, man. But yeah, that's what it was, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, man, and drop comments and let me know what other stories y'all want to hear.